Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, Bola Bakare, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level.
Good morning and welcome to your lofty program, State of the Nation, where we hasten the motion for national development. And when it comes to national development, you're part of it too. Our morning brief this morning is going to dwell on a factor that is important, a factor that is a building factor. And what do I mean by that? I mean education. And when we talk about education, we have to talk in terms of all the parameters that makes up the equation of education in our system. The policies, the guidelines, the institutions that the government have put in place to make sure that education sails as it should be. One of which we are going to deal with this morning is an institution, an agency of government that is called Tetfund. Tertiary Education Trust Fund. Honestly, wherever there is fund that the government has earmarked for education or for some other things, we take time out to investigate and see what is happening out there. In the case of Tetfund, Tetfund has funds on hand that goes in tandem with what is its name stands for, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, for which Tetfund has been able to carry out its mandate. Lately, they have been able to up the ante in making sure that scholarships are given to in-house staffers of universities. For those that have BSs, they were encouraged, they were given scholarships to go onto the next level of a master's degree, and for those with masters, they were given a hand by moving up to doctorate degree. And honestly, I can tell you this for free. 35,000 of them have benefited from this. And then, that should tell us that we are trying to improve on our education system. In other words, to use that simple balance, we are educating the educators, which is highly important. But lately also, news is rife out there that Tetfund is not doing its job accordingly. Accusations have been thrown at the ES because the man at the end of affairs of Tetfund is called an ES, Executive Secretary. And what are the accusations that were thrown against him? What are the defenses he was able to come up with? What have we been able to see to find out there if they were true? From what we could gather, there is an accusation of calumny against his person, against the person of the ES, Executive Secretary, by name Sonny. He's an architect though, Sonny Echono. What are they saying about him? All they are saying is the reforms he's trying to bring into the system, that they do not like it. There is something about us Nigerians that we need to watch closely. When a man is doing a good job, we tend to pull him down. When he comes up with reforms, we tend to go against it. And why is this so? It is so because, honestly, there are a lot of redundant people in the system. It is not enough to say, okay, the service is overbloated. There are people that should not be there at all because they don't add value to the system. They devalue the system. And lately, what has the ES done? Lately, he checked in-house and found out that out of the 87 people that were members of the National Research Fund for Screening and Monitoring Committee, he found out that 37 of them were not up to speed. 37 of them, there could not be a concise job designation for them. In other words, these are people that are redundant. And what did the man do in his wisdom? He gave them letters. He gave them quit letters that you are not useful here. Why are you taking our money? And I can tell you this. The moment a straightforward man who wants to infuse reform do that, a lot of people will be shouting, oh, it's not fair. Oh, this is not this. That is not that. Nigerians, what we're talking about here is how to manage our funds properly. There's not too much of money anywhere. It's not just Nigeria alone, it's all over the world. Our own case might be a little, maybe 1 or 2 notches higher, but at the same time, we are part of the global family. And as such, we should have people on ground, people that will look at whatever institution, whatever department, whatever agency of government they are looking at, they have been given the job. They should be able to look inwards and clean house. I repeat that, clean house. And when this man is cleaning house, a lot of people are shouting. Naturally, they will shout. Because they are beneficiaries of a largesse for which they did not add any value. So also news is rife out there that, oh, okay, Tetfund is giving out it's padding whatever budget they have, it's splitting up contracts so that it can be easier, it can be given to loads and friends and here and there. But the thing is, from our findings, the ES categorically said no. Tetfund is not a contract issuing agency. Their own job is to monitor and make sure that things are going right. If there is fund to be given to institutions, let's say vis-a-vis universities, it is the VCs out there that are in control. The projects they want to do, the intervention funds they crave for, it is the VCs that comes up with that. The job of Tetfund therein is to make sure that whatever project they are going to do, the projects are done. And once the projects are done, Tetfund now pays via milestones in tranches to whoever the contractor is on whatever project. It is not the duty of Tetfund to determine which project university it needs. It is the duty of the VCs to make that decision. Come up with a bill, a cost implication of the project, and there and then Tetfund takes over and say, okay, go ahead with the project. As the job is going on, they call it milestones. At every milestone, Tetfund will look at it, will review it, look at it closely before payments are made in tranches. Honestly, as Nigerians, it's high time we sit back and tell ourselves that there is need for people that will bring in reforms to the system. It is high time we stop this element of business as usual. It is high time we stop the attitude of, oh, it's a national cake. Let me take my own knife to it and then have a slice of it. If we all begin to do that, at the end of the day, our economy will run aground. It's high time we have men with the will. There is one thing I have been preaching over the years. We need men with the will to serve. If we have men that do not have the will to serve, we are in trouble. So whenever we see whenever any one of them crops up, we should be able to give them some good accolade that, oh, this man, you're doing a good job. Let us encourage him so that he can do some more.